Hey, what's up YouTube? Welcome to my review of the Russell Green River boning knife. That is that knife there. You're at the We All Juggle Knives channel, by the way. Welcome one and all. So the price of this knife was only $20. It is 1095 high carbon steel. It does come without handle scales. As you can see, I have put my quick and dirty triple paracord wrap on the handle, and that is heat shrunk onto the handle. So it will not slide up or down at all, right? Because it's rigid. This knife is made in the USA. Here it is in hand. I have a large size hand, and as you can see, the handle fits me pretty well. Okay, we're going to cut up a variety of materials with this knife. First up, we have heavy duty nylon strap material, right? Just in case you had to modify some of your gear, right? But I'm going to review this as both a boning knife and as a general purpose camp knife, because I feel like if you had this out in your camp kitchen, you would also use it for just other cutting chores, slicing. Right, we got some paracord there, but definitely we've definitely got some meat for later in this video. Okay, so if you're not a meat eater, you might not want to keep watching. So the blade length on this is 6 inches. It is full flat ground and it comes extremely sharp. You got to be careful with it. But as you can see, it's a great slicer. Easily deals with the paracord. So as I said, we're going to cut up a lot of meat because that's really the purpose of this knife. This knife exists to slice up animal matter, right? So I hope you're hungry. All right, we have some rubber tubing there. Let's say that you had to make a survival slingshot or something. You found some rubber tubing. It can definitely cut through that. All right, and the last thing is going to be some basswood, which I use for whittling. Going to make some notches. Right, so the Green River name, definitely a lot of history behind that. Now, this is the second of these Green River knives that I have reviewed. The first was the Green River camp knife. I'll include a link to that. You can check out my review of the Green River camp knife. That was also very inexpensive, like this knife. And I liked it so much that I figured I'd try another one of their cutlery products. Now, I will include a link to this. It is available on Amazon. And that link will show you all their different models. All right, you see the notches that I made there. But yeah, they have a large number of different models. The camp knife, they have a butcher knife, and many others. And most of them are very inexpensive, okay? So that one link will actually take you to a group listing of all their current models. And they do come without handle scales, but that's why they're very inexpensive. Very budget friendly. All right, there you see I just took some shavings off that piece of wood so you can make some shavings, start them on fire if you wanted to. All right, so that was the end of the general purpose camp cutting part of this. Now we're going to go into the cutting up food. Yes, food. Got some beef right here. So this thing you can, let's say you wanted to make some beef stew. You can cut off a big slice of beef and then cut it into cubes and make yourself some nice beef stew. Add some potatoes, carrots. I like radishes as well, and appropriate spices. And this thing will lightsaber through meat. Let me tell you, this thing can definitely do its job. This slices right through. A little surgery. All right, now this is beef, but let's say that you hunted a deer or something and you had to cut up your deer. Look how it goes through, man. Look how this it just lightsabers on through that meat. So yeah, if you're a hunter and you need to cut up whatever you hunted, look at that, right? And we're going to cook this up too, or we're going to cook some of it later as well. But there you go. Yeah, this thing is excellent for butchering, for processing meat. There you go. All those chunks. So if you need to cut up some steak or cube some beef for your stew, there it is. Okay, here it is on some ribs. Look at it go through the ribs. Yes, I sure do love me some ribs, and I actually cut up a lot more ribs than this. I ended up cutting 2 full racks of ribs with this knife. I haven't cooked them all yet, but I've cooked some of them. But yeah, pork ribs, freaking delicious. All right, I hope you guys are hungry. All right, one more animal. We got this beautiful looking duck leg. Going to do some surgery, just 2 cuts, and we're going to cut off that nice boneless section of the duck leg right there. And you guys know me, I love me some duck. And that piece right there with all the skin and all the fat, that's going to be delicious. Okay, how did the beef turn out? Well, here's some little mini steaks. What I do is I brown them in the pan and then I cook them through in the oven, and I add a little salt and pepper, and they turned out really good. Okay, I did not cook the duck yet, but I did cook some of the ribs. So for these, I browned them in the pan and then I finished them slowly in the slow cooker, also known as a crock pot. And I did use some soy sauce as well as a bunch of ginger, Chinese 5-spice. These were more Asian, turned out well. All right, so this is how your Green River knife will come. Before you do anything to it, I would suggest cleaning it because it is a little kind of dirty and grungy. Give it a good cleaning before you do anything with the handle. It does come fully sharpened, and it does come heat treated as well. All right, behold. All right, so as you see, like I said, it comes fully sharpened. It's a real knife. It just needs handle scales or a handle wrap. All right, but one thing you should know about this, even though it is heat treated, it is not hardened as hard as most like survival knives would be. Okay, they didn't list exactly the hardness, but I can tell they keep the steel a little soft, and the reason they do that is so that you can resharpen it much more quickly and easily in the field. But just know, I do not recommend chopping or batoning with this particular knife because they do keep the steel kind of soft. So it is a slicer. Final thoughts on this knife. I feel like it is an excellent value. I recommend it. I definitely feel like I got my money's worth. It's great to get 1095 high carbon steel made in the USA for only $20. That steel is superior to the steel in many kitchen knives that would be more expensive, and the only drawback is that you have to maintain that steel. Remember, high carbon steel can rust, so dry it off completely, and if you store it, maybe store it with a little oil. Right? But assuming you maintain it, that steel will give you superior cutting performance. So if you want to pick one up, I'll include a link to all the Green River products in the text description box below this video, as well as just other links of interest to cutlery enthusiasts. All right, and those links do help support the channel and keep the show rolling, so I really appreciate all who use them. All right, I hope you enjoyed this video. Consider subscribing if you haven't already done so. This has been We All Juggle Knives. I'm out.